In or out, Rue? You wanna go outside? You wanna stay inside? Hey, come here.
She says, I want to be where the girls are.
I wanna wait until you shut the door
I
and walk
want to
away.
wait until you shut the door. And then I want to be indecisive and walk around.
Good girl.
Yeah.
Good girl.
Good
Lay down.
girl. And on that note, good evening. You're listening to Myth and Mist, your one-stop podcast for killers, thrillers, and chillers of the Pacific Northwest. I'm Genevieve.
I'm Haley.
Thanks for tuning in tonight. At the time that we are recording this, we currently have a super harvest full moon.
Oh.
And I don't really know off the top of my head what that means, but I can tell you because I follow an account on Instagram that seems to be very knowledgeable about those things. The account is called Lita Pavlova _magic. And Lita says, what's special about October's full moon? Well, it's a supermoon, so its influence is more potent as the moon is closer to the earth. The harvest moon's energy is going to be with us for the whole month ahead. And the meaning of the harvest moon is gratitude, wealth and resources, and gradually slowing down. Lita encourages us to make pies, soups, and warm homemade drinks, write in our journals, make our homes cozy, sort out our budgets. I will not be doing that. Think about plans for this autumn and winter, make well thought out changes, and spend quality times with friends and family.
All of that sounds so lovely.
It does.
This is the best time of the year. Full moon or not.
Full moon or not, she says, magic of the harvest moon helps gratitude practices, offerings to spirits. You can perform house magic, kitchen witchcraft, care for plants and garden, and thank the trees.
What type of witch do you identify with the most?
The most worst ones.
The wickedest.
Yeah. The witches that just like look at you and like you burst into flames. Yeah. And the witches that like know all the animals and have like giant scary animals, and they like the scariest animals like them and listen to them. Yeah. Those witches. Yeah. The psychos. Yeah. I like a really evil witch.
Yeah, it's the type of witch you are.
I like a ugly witch too. Like I don't none of this. I don't want like. I want her like gnarled and like living in a swamp or cave. The one that the people go to when they're like, oh, I need revenge or whatever, and their friends are like, no, don't go to her, and they're like, I'm gonna go to her, and then she's like, I got this. Like, okay. Have you seen The Devil's Rejects? Wait, no, that's not right. It's not. It's Lords of Salem. Devil's Rejects is another Rob Zombie movie. Oh. My bad. Lords of Salem.
I don't really fuck with Rob Zombie movies. They usually make me so uncomfortable. Right? Yeah.
I agree. This one, though, is an exception to the rule. Because I agree with you. I don't really fuck with Rob Zombie movies either. They're kind of whack, in my opinion. I don't really like his hot take. I know. House of a Thousand Corpses is good, but whatever. Lords of Salem is really good.
Okay, I'm writing it down.
And it is, honestly, in my opinion, the perfect depiction of a witch. Like, flawlessly depicted. Perfect. It's just perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would not... I actually have thought about that before, like, how I could easily be perceived in the future as an old witchy hag. Like, I don't have children. I stay at home a lot. I love, like...
You've got black dogs. We both have black dogs.
Yeah. I love a overgrown wild yard.
So do you think that you would be more of like a potions and like a concoction witch?
I think I would probably be more of a I think it's called a green
nature witch?
like
A
a nature
natural
witch.
witch.
Yeah. I do like the idea of natural medicine and herbs, holistic health when appropriate. I also fully believe in Western medicine and my doctor. But yeah, I think I would be more of a green witch.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think I'd be just like a vengeance witch. Is that
Yeah.
a thing? I don't think that's a thing.
Well, I also really, I mean, I do love the idea of potions and like women helping out women, and I love the idea of like being a revenge witch, like killing like this, or
I think it's just like vigilante justice, you know?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you got to step in and do a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Which honestly kind of ties into what I'm going to be talking about today. Full disclosure is going to be a hard one to sit through. It's hard. It was very hard for me to research in depth. It's going to be hard to read, and it will be hard to listen to because there are going to be, this is the trigger warning now. Gratuitous mention. We're going to be dealing with a lot of horrible atrocities committed on children in this episode. So
content warning, violence against children.
Yes. Extreme violence, death. It's going to be a bummer to get through. I think that this deep dive that I went down should be talked about because it calls a lot of our criminal justice system into question, which it should be.
Yep.
So that being said, I am going to, I guess, dive right into
Let's go.
this nightmare. Here we go. On November 13th, 1989, 6-year-old James Kirk II was at the movies with his mother and her boyfriend in their hometown of Camas, Washington. As the movie commenced, James told his mother he needed to go to the bathroom, and when asked if he wanted her to go with him, he responded that he could go all by himself. James meandered down the brightly colored hallway of the New Liberty Theater. Upon reaching the bathroom, James was approached by a tall male stranger. The man loomed over him, and James, a shy boy, made it abundantly clear that he didn't talk to strangers and that he wanted nothing to do with him. Without warning, the man lunged for him, wrapping James in a tight hug and lifting him off the ground. He carried James out of the bathroom and began walking at a brisk pace towards the theater exit. But this stranger, as it would happen, underestimated the young boy's sense of self-preservation. James began to kick and bite his attacker. He screamed, and his cries echoed through the quiet theater halls. The stranger made it as far as the theater's lobby before he gave up, deterred by James' fight and the increasingly high risk of interception. A theater employee found James scared and crying, having just been dumped on the ground as the man took off running. He notified James' mother and her boyfriend, William Ray Graves. The employee gave a brief description of the man they saw fleeing the theater, and Graves, dead set on apprehending the abductor, took off after him. As luck would have it, no sooner had he turned the corner than he saw the man the employee had described. He was thin, gangly, and pale, with dark hair, a pencil-thin mustache, and a scowl. And as if by some means of divine intervention, the man was having car trouble, which prevented him from making a prompt getaway. Graves approached the man's car with an air of casual friendliness, gently asking, "Car trouble?" and offering to take a look under the hood. But as the man acquiesced and stepped out of his vehicle, Graves wrapped a broad arm around his neck, trapping him. He marched the man back to the theater in a headlock and held him there until police arrived. Upon his arrest, the abductor was identified as 28-year-old Westley Allan Dodd. And 3 days following his arrest, law enforcement would realize the gravity of who they'd captured. Westley Allan Dodd was born July 3, 1961, to Carol and James Dodd. He was the eldest of 3 children and spent his childhood in Toppenish, Washington, a mid-sized town in Yakima County. Though Dodd never publicly commented on the conditions of his childhood, he journaled privately that his father had been physically abusive towards him, and that he often felt favoritism directed towards his younger brother and sister. He also remarked that his parents never vocalized their love for him, and added that the phrase, "I love you," was not something he himself would ever be able to say to another person with sincerity. Westley began to show signs of deviance at a very young age. These tendencies would intensify in his formative years. At 10 years old, he flashed the little girl who lived next door and was subsequently ridiculed and shamed by her. By 12, he began experimenting with sexual sadism, inserting pins and other foreign objects into his genital cavities. At 13, Westley was a routine flasher, revealing himself to much younger children in the neighborhood. He began to favor boys over girls, saying, quote, "The boys didn't report me as often as the girls did." Oftentimes he would get on his bike and paddle around the neighborhood, subjecting any unsuspecting children he came upon to his perverse acts of exhibitionism. He later referred to them as, quote, "easy targets." As Dodd matured, his proclivity for sexualizing young children intensified. He admitted to assaulting his sister when he was 14 and she was 10, and continued exposing himself to young boys in the area until the police paid a visit to his home. Deterred by his brush with law enforcement, Dodd began a more careful, strategic approach to carry out his predatory agenda, assaulting children under the guise of games and jokes. He was arrested at 15 for exposing himself to 2 young girls, but was not prosecuted. Instead, he was required to attend court-appointed counseling sessions, the first of many. By age 17, Westley had victimized dozens of children, including 2 toddlers he was hired to babysit, the 4-year-old daughter of his father's girlfriend, and his 10-year-old stepbrother. The assaults escalated, and as he approached adulthood, he became keenly aware of the serious threat of incarceration. In the end, however, Dodd either could not or simply would not control his insatiable compulsions, and in October 1980, he was apprehended after attempting to abduct 2 young girls, aged 7 and 11. He admitted that his intention was to molest the girls, yet he was, once again, shockingly, released by authorities with no charges filed against him. He was 19 years old. At 20, he joined the Navy, preying on children at the neighboring naval bases, acting without consequence for over a year. Then, in December of 1982, Dodd was arrested and dishonorably discharged from his post for, quote, "attempting indecent liberties" on a young boy. He served 17 days in jail for these charges and completed a small number of mandatory counseling sessions following his release. He was arrested again in 1984 on molestation charges, given a suspended 1-year prison sentence, and again forced to undergo mandatory counseling. Later that same year, he was arrested again for molesting a 13-year-old boy, but served only 4 months of his 10-year sentence before being set free to roam the streets again. It is uncertain exactly how many children Dodd victimized between 1984 and 1989, as he himself claimed to lose count. But suffice it to say that Dodd did immeasurable damage in those 5 years, exposing countless children to his baseless, vile acts. The more comfortable and normalized these acts became to him, the more he escalated the violence. On September 4th, 1989, Dodd went to David Douglas Park in Vancouver, Washington, with the intention of violating and killing children. It was there that he would lure his first 2 victims to their deaths. William and Cole Neer had been playing in the park that day. The 10 and 11-year-old brothers were lured by Dodd to a secluded area in the park. There, Dodd tied them to a tree, assaulted, and stabbed them. The boys were found in that same spot later that night. Tragically, Cole was pronounced dead on the scene, and William died from his injuries on his way to the hospital. The heinous crime sent shockwaves through the quiet community, and law enforcement began searching for the boy's killer. Not 2 months later, on October 29th, Dodd approached 4-year-old Lee Iselli and his 9-year-old brother Justin on a playground at Richmond Elementary School in Portland, Oregon. He managed to separate the boys, luring the younger Lee into his car with the promise of a ride home. Instead, Dodd took Lee to his Vancouver apartment. He spent the next 24 hours abusing and torturing the child before ultimately strangling him to death and hanging his tiny body in the closet. Dodd kept a detailed account of these atrocities in his journal and documented them with photographs. He disposed of Lee Iselli like garbage, stuffing his bare body into trash bags and discarding him in the bushes near Vancouver Lake. Lee's remains were discovered the following day, and police doubled down their efforts to find the person responsible for this most recent act of barbarism. 2 weeks later, Dodd would walk into New Liberty Movie Theater with the intention of subjecting another child to the same horrific fate. It is because of that child's bravery and tenacity and his guardian that Westley Allan Dodd was apprehended that day at just 28 years old. Upon his arrest, Camas law enforcement contacted the Portland Police Department, suspecting there was some correlation between the attempted abduction of James Kirk II and the murder of Lee Iselli. Dodd was interrogated for 3 days before confessing to the murder of all 3 boys. A search warrant was executed on his Vancouver apartment, where his journal, an album of photographs, and various articles of Lee Iselli's clothing were seized as evidence. More disturbing still, police noted a handmade, child-sized torture rack in the residence, which was also taken as evidence. Dodd was charged with 3 counts of aggravated first-degree murder and 1 count of attempted kidnapping. While he initially entered a plea of not guilty, Dodd later changed his plea to guilty. He was found guilty, on all counts, by a jury. At his sentencing, he took the stand himself to make a request. His exchange with the presiding judge was as follows. Judge, what would be your intention if you were forced to live in prison? Dodd, do everything I can to escape and if necessary kill prison guards on the way out, and I'll go right back to doing what I did before as soon as I hit the streets. Judge, which is what? Dodd, kill kids. Judge, kill and rape kids. Dodd, yes. Judge, so you should be executed for the safety of others? Dodd, yes. Dodd would go on to find fault with the American justice system, saying, quote, if you add up all the prison time I was given, but never made me serve, I'd be in prison until 2026, and those boys would still be alive. Westley Allan Dodd was sentenced to death in January of 1990. He was given the choice of execution by hanging or lethal injection, a choice he never gave his young victims. He chose to die by hanging, in some feeble attempt to mirror or make reparations for his final murder victim, Lee Iselli, whom he strangled. This decision proved a controversial one, and the ACLU ended up filing a lawsuit in Dodd's name, with the claim that such a method of execution was a violation of the Eighth Amendment, which prohibits the government from inflicting cruel or unusual punishment. The ACLU fought for a stay of execution on these grounds, but were ultimately unsuccessful. On January 5, 1993, Westley Allan Dodd was executed. His last meal consisted of baked salmon and boiled potatoes. The medical examiner placed his time of death at 12:05 a.m. He was the first person on death row to die by hanging since 1965. In his final words, Dodd thought it appropriate to assert his newly found pious attitude. He expressed neither remorse nor empathy for the young lives he so viciously snuffed out 5 years prior, saying, quote, I was wrong when I said there was no hope, no peace. There is hope. There is peace. I found both in the Lord Jesus Christ. Look to the Lord, and you will find peace.
Oh my God.
Oh, I need a sip of whiskey now.
Damn. All right, everyone collectively take a breath and a sip of whiskey.
Take a breath. Woo.
Okay.
Take a breath. Take a sip. I have have a lot of feelings about this whole
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
So I found out initially about Westley Allan Dodd because shortly after I started working at my job, which I've worked at for almost a decade, which my last shift is next weekend.
Yay.
Shortly after I started working at my job, the owner of the establishment where I work, who is a Portland resident, local, and has lived in Portland, Southeast Portland specifically, his whole life. I don't remember how we were talking about like true crime. I think I was probably listening to a podcast, and he was like, "What are you listening to?" And I was like, "I'm listening to true crime." And he was like, "Well, you know that that the school across the street from the restaurant is where Westley Allan Dodd abducted his last victim." And I was like, "Who is that?" He was like, "Look him up. He was really bad." And so at the time, I did look him up. And yeah, my work is just across the street from Richmond Elementary School, where Leah Selly was abducted. And I looked into him then, but I didn't dive as deep, and I didn't know the full scope, the volume of children that he assaulted. I did not know that he had that many victims. So he killed 3 children, right?
Yeah.
But he assaulted who knows how many.
Yeah.
I think I said in the thing that I wrote up that he himself was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know
Kind of
how
keep
many.
track. Yeah. Yeah, that's really heavy and really fucked up. Such a failing of our justice system that he was repeatedly just let off and put back on the streets when he was like obviously causing harm.
Well, the criminal justice system in this country it's a miserable, corrupt institution.
Yes.
I feel like we know this.
Yes.
Not everybody agrees with this, but we do, and probably anybody who will listen to this podcast tends to agree with that.
Yeah.
It preys on poor people. It preys on marginalized people. It preys on minorities. The only use that it has, in my opinion, or should have, is supposed to have, is to protect vulnerable members of society from offenders who are irredeemably fucked up, who commit despicable, monstrous, horrible acts, and choose to prioritize their fucked up shit above the health and well-being of the people that they victimize, right? So that's like baseline. Like, if we're going to have this unreformed, fucked up system, let's at least use it to protect society from the people that actually need to be away, you know, sequestered, separate.
Yes.
They not only failed in that, but they failed so spectacularly that it's like, I mean, it's not funny, right? Obviously, but it's like just embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, the magnitude of repeated failure is just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
This pattern of behavior is like long established in this person. He has a laundry list of allegations, like serious allegations.
Yeah.
Molesting children, like exposing himself to children, attempted kidnapping, all this shit. The fact that he was on the street in the first place is just infuriating.
Agreed. Obviously agreed.
And I guarantee you, if he had not been a white guy from a middle-class background, a young white man from a, air quote, good family, middle-class, good family, hardworking, you know, he could have sneezed and he would have gone away for 30 years.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
The first sign of any sort of quote-unquote deviancy, he would have been gone.
Absolutely.
It's just like this case in particular. And the thing is that it's like, oh, those are different times. It was the 80s, man. It wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
We're not talking about 1880. We're talking about like 40 years ago.
Within
40 to 60 years ago.
Yeah.
You know? And we kind of see this often with these like white male offenders.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, don't do that. And then they're just like, all right, go ahead.
And at the same time, there are people with like marijuana,
There's
drug
people
charges.
in Indiana right now that got arrested 30 years ago for having a joint.
People are being arrested for having like an abortion. Like, it's fucked up.
You know, half the time he didn't even get arrested for these things. they didn't press charges. Or the charges didn't stick. He's serving 4 months of a 10-year sentence.
That's wild.
And I should have looked into it more. Like, I think this was prior to where it's like, oh, you have to be a registered sex offender. So that was before that legislation really became a thing. But I also think it's interesting, too, that the cops didn't catch this guy. A guy did. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. A guy was like, you're going to try and take my kid? Hell no. So vigilante justice. Once again.
Yes, yes.
We're coming full circle now. You see it sometimes in cases like major cases like this, like the Richard Ramirez.
Yeah.
He was apprehended by like a bunch of Mexican men that lived in California. Thank God that these people are hypervigilant and intelligent about the choices that they make. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I don't know. All I'm saying is vigilante justice is kind of cool, is actually absolutely. Extremely sick. I also think that it is worth mentioning that Westley Allan Dodd's younger brother, Gregory, was arrested in 2016 for attempting to meet an undercover HSI agent for sex who was posing as a 13-year-old girl.
Oh, gross.
So clearly, not clearly, but it seems likely to me that there is some history of abuse in this family.
Yeah.
Whether it was said directly or it wasn't. This type of deviance, from my understanding, doesn't just show up out of nowhere, right? It's like a learned behavior. That being said, you still always have a choice. Am I going to act on these feelings, or am I going to seek help for these feelings? And when you decide that your fantasy takes priority over someone else's safety and sanity, I think that's when you become evil.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, listeners, there are healthier ways to deal with these issues. There's therapy.
Can we all just go to therapy? We can't all go to therapy because we can't afford therapy.
This is true.
Because a lot of us don't have health insurance. Can we all just please make therapy
accessible?
Can we just make healthcare accessible so that we can all just like go to the dentist and talk to someone?
Go to the dentist and talk to someone?
I need to go to the dentist and I need to talk to someone about why I'm a little crazy. You know what I mean? Yes. And it's like, we all need those things.
We all need these things.
It's just like a basic need. I just spiraled real hard.
No, it's real.
You know what I mean? It's like all of these systems are connected and they're all maintained by the oppressor. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's just a bummer.
Big bummer.
Particularly given everything that's happening in the world right now. And always. And forever. This to me is like the biggest and clearest case of the system failing miserably that I think I've ever seen. Honestly,
all of these stories are very good examples of the system failing.
It be failing. It be failing. Perpetually. The shit sucks real bad. So, and it's likely going to keep sucking. Mm-hmm. So,
shit's not getting better, people.
It's getting worse. It's getting worse. So, yeah, that was hopefully that was the most depressing case I will review on this podcast, because if it's not, I'm definitely going to need therapy, because that was a rough one. That one was rough. That one was rough, start to finish. I was very stoned writing that, because I think that was the only way I could digest a lot of that information.
Yeah.
And I did find some really good, interesting, very thorough sources to pull all of that very detailed information from, and they're going to be in the show notes if you would care to take a look for yourself. If you want to get even more bummed out, Westley Allan Dodd's Rest in Shit.
Rest and shit.
Hope wherever you are, it sucks real bad. The end.
It's tough to follow that.
I think we need a little mood elevator.
Yeah, do you want to lighten the mood a little bit with some haunted Portland theaters?
I think that, yes, I think that's the palate cleanser that we need right now.
Okay.
You're like the sorbet between meals. So like I just served you a really heavy meal and now you're going to be like,
I like to think of myself as like the after meal cigarette.
that's nice.
You know?
Ooh.
It's comforting.
That's nice.
Helps with your digestion.
Remember when we both smoked?
I do remember. Oh, I had 2 cigarettes a couple weekends ago.
Oh my God.
It was fucking awesome.
I thought you were going to say awful. I was waiting for you to say awful, and I was going to be like, thank God, I feel vindicated. But you said awesome.
It
Now
was
that makes me
great.
want a cigarette.
It was. I want one. I haven't like regularly smoked cigarettes in, I don't know, 15 years maybe, and I still crave them every day, which is really fucked up. But I loved it. It felt so good. But when I got home, I reeked. I smelled so bad. And I think my jacket still smells like it, like 2 weeks later.
They do. What kind? Do you remember what kind? Did you bum them from somebody?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A friend had some.
Was
They
it
were the Crushes.
Camel Crushes.
I don't know. Is the only.
Was it menthol?
It was menthol. Was the only like crush a camel?
I don't know because I never smoked menthols.
Okay. I crushed them and they were menthol.
I'm guessing it was a Camel Crush.
Probably.
That's like the OG crush.
Yeah. Felt great. Tasted great. Smelled awful.
Oh, girl.
I won't smoke because I can't deal with that smell.
See, I'm too, like, I'm right there with you too, because I quit smoking like over 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. I loved smoking. Mm-hmm. I loved smoking cigarettes. But now looking back on it, I'm like, that's disgusting. Like,
Yeah.
it's gross. It is horrible. It's gross. It's gross and disgusting, and it's horrible. But I still want that.
I know.
And I still want to have one every time I have a sip of alcohol.
I know.
I have one sip of alcohol, and I'm like, you know what sounds nice?
Or like
9 cigarettes.
Exactly 9. Or my favorite was always eating a really spicy meal and then having a cigarette after.
Oh my God. Or when you had a headache. Mm-hmm. When you had a headache and you're like, I think a cigarette will help this headache. And it usually did.
Or when you were working at the Laughing Planet
Or
and
when
you really wanted to like step off. Oh, I had so many good cigarettes on the porch of the Laughing Planet in Bloomington, Indiana.
A lot of good cigarettes at that part. That's where we met, by the way. Little known fact, Haley and I worked not at a Laughing Planet, but we worked at the mother ship, the OG, the first Laughing Planet that started as like a mom and pop, crusty, hippie burrito place in Bloomington, Indiana. And it was then turned into a chain. Mm-hmm. And now it's here. And the original one is gone. It doesn't exist anymore.
Honestly, one of my favorite jobs I've ever had. I hated it at the time, but in retrospect, I fucking loved it.
There was a lot of debauchery that went on at that Laughing Planet. I mean, because we made no money.
Of course.
So we were just like, well, if we're not actually making any money, we might as well just do whatever we want.
Yeah. Bob, if you're listening, fuck off.
Bob, if you're listening, you should probably just sit on a knife because you're the worst. Matt Butt, if you're listening, we love you so much.
Matt Butt, we love you. We miss you.
We miss you. Come to Portland. Let's hang out.
You.
We'll go to a Laughing Planet. It'll be hilarious.
It'll be so fun. Maybe we'll take you to a theater and maybe we'll see a ghost. Portland is well known for its historic neighborhood theaters, many of which are said to be haunted. Today I'm going to tell you some of the haunted history of 3 of these theaters: the Hollywood, the Roseland, and the Baghdad. Opened in 1926, the Hollywood Theater, located in Northeast Portland, began as a home for vaudeville acts and silent films. Today, it's just as well known for its ghostly residents as it is for its movies. Over the years, both staff and moviegoers have reported encounters with unexplained figures and strange sensations, especially in the upper levels of the building. One of the most frequently mentioned apparitions is that of a well-dressed man who appears in the upstairs lobby. Witnesses describe him as middle-aged, often seen hovering or simply standing in place, only to vanish moments later. Just as common is the appearance of a young blonde woman, usually seen in the upstairs screening room or pacing the halls. She's often described as wearing high heels and occasionally smoking a cigarette, as if replaying some fragment of her life on repeat. Another reoccurring sighting is of a woman quietly seated in the back row of the upstairs theater, seemingly just watching and waiting. Visual sightings aren't the only strange happenings. Many visitors have described feeling a sudden tap on their shoulder or hearing faint whispers close to their ear, only to turn and discover that no one is nearby. These experiences, while unsettling, are not typically described as malicious. In fact, many say the touches feel more playful than scary. Others, however, report a persistent uneasiness while climbing the staircase to the upper theater, while some even noting sudden cold spots in the air. My mouth feels so dry.
It's probably because you were talking about smoke.
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny that you said that, because right when you said that, I was like, I almost feel like I did smoke a cigarette.
Despite decades of reports, none of the Hollywood Theater's ghosts have ever been formally identified. They remain anonymous, remembered only through repeated stories of eerie encounters. Still, the consistency of the encounters from both employees and moviegoers suggests that the Hollywood's past continues to linger on in more than one way. If the Hollywood Theater's hauntings lead towards the theatrical, the Roseland Theory story veers into true crime horror. Located in downtown Portland, the Roseland Theater was originally built in 1922 as a church. It later became the infamous nightclub Starry Night, which was a popular music club in the 80s and 90s. It also became the scene of one of the city's most notorious murders. In 1990, Timothy Moreau, a young publicity agent, disappeared after clashing with club owner Scary Larry, Hurwitz, over counterfeit tickets to a John Lee Hooker show at the Starry Night. Shortly after, he disappeared without a trace. For years, the case was Portland's most infamous unsolved mystery. Stories of the Roseland's hauntings often focus on angry whispers echoing through empty hallways, sounds that performers and staff have both claimed to have heard late at night. Some describe feeling watched as they climb the stairs or catch a flicker of movement in their peripheral vision when no one else is around. A few have reported hearing footsteps that stop just behind them or a voice muttering their name in the dark. The most common belief is that it's Moreau, trapped between this world and the next, forever tied to the place where his life ended so violently. Adding to the unease is the fact that Moreau's remains were never recovered. It is rumored that his body is hidden somewhere along the Columbia Gorge, but it has still never been found. Unlike many haunted locations where spirits are said to be playful or protective, the atmosphere here is different. Many say it is tinged with frustration, grief, and unfinished business. One of my favorite theaters, the Baghdad Theater, is located in southeast Portland on Hawthorne Boulevard. It was built by Universal Studios in 1927 and has entertained generations with music, movies, and live performances. The Baghdad has always been a place of escape. Lavish decor, exotic murals, and even a fountain once greeted audiences who came to forget the outside world. Before becoming a popular movie theater, now owned by McMenamins, early shows featured silent films, a theater orchestra, live stage shows, and vaudeville acts. But behind the glamour and history lingers something far stranger. Over the years, patrons and staff have reported shadows drifting across the screen, whispered voices in empty rooms, and sudden cold spots that chill the air. The theater is full of stories of spirits who had never left, each with their own distinct personality. One of the best known is the ghost of a stagehand who, according to legend, died tragically within the building. Some say he hanged himself backstage after despairing over never making it as a performer. Others believe his death was a terrible accident. But either way, his presence is often felt near the screen, where his shadow has been seen floating and his whispers heard just beyond the curtain. Some witnesses believe that he still longs for the spotlight that he never received in life. Another presence that has gained a reputation among female patrons is the bathroom male spirit. Women using the downstairs bathroom have reported feeling watched or even breathed on by something unseen. Some claim to have spotted a shadow figure lingering in the stalls, while others recall catching the scent of cheap men's cologne hanging in the air. Though incredibly unnerving, the encounters have never escalated beyond the unsettling sensation of being spied on. It is said that staff also have experienced a ghostly spirit who seemed to watch over their work. In the kitchen and behind the swinging pub doors, employees have felt invisible eyes on them. Papers shift on their own, cleaning supplies move from one spot to another, and footsteps echo behind workers after hours. Some believe this spirit once held a position of authority in the theater and continues, even in death, to ensure that the operation runs smoothly. There are also accounts of a mischievous presence that tampers with the equipment, disrupting shows at just the wrong moment, as though the theater itself is playing tricks. Together, these spirits create an atmosphere that is equal parts eerie and fascinating. Each of these hauntings reflect the character of its theater, whether in elegance, notoriety, or charm. It makes sense that places that were built for stories, emotion, and performance hold on to the energy of those who pass through them. So the next time that you find yourself sitting in a Portland theater as the lights dim and the room falls quiet, take a moment to listen. The whispers you hear might not belong to the person sitting beside you.
Okay, so I love those because we've both been to all of those places many times.
Yeah.
We went to the Roseland together.
Did we? I don't remember that.
Didn't we? Oh no, that was a Wonder Ballroom. Fuck. It wasn't a movie theater. It was the Wonder Ballroom.
Oh, for ghost hunting?
Yeah.
That was the Crystal Ballroom.
It wasn't the Wonder Ball. I get
Which
so
we'll
many,
talk. I think we should talk about that another time because
so many ballrooms.
there are a lot of McMenamins properties in particular that are reportedly haunted.
Oh, we went to. I was like, I know we went to a theater together. We went to Baghdad for my 26th.
We saw
birthday.
it.
Yes, when it came out in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We've been to the Hollywood Theater together.
Yes.
And we've been separately multiple times. I've been to the Roseland for
I've been to the
shows.
Roseland. I don't remember why. I went for some stuff, and honestly, right now, I don't remember why. But
it's like a fairly popular venue here in town for like mid-sized bands.
I don't know that I've ever felt necessarily anything creepy in any of those locations, but that time that we went to go see it was like the day that it came out, and there was like so much hype and publicity about that movie for whatever reason. Remember that with like all the creepy clown sightings?
I do, yeah.
And it was like a whole thing, and so there were so many people dressed up as clowns at that movie,
which
on that day, which I thought was fun because I like that. And I think we got these really good cocktails because Baghdad had themed cocktails, like for the movie, like it themed cocktails. And so we'd like had a couple, and then I had to go to the bathroom. And so I got up to go to the bathroom, and we were sitting in the upstairs balcony part, and I was coming back from the bathroom, and some guy dressed as a clown jumped out at me.
No.
As I was coming back from the bathroom, and I was a little bit tipsy. And he scared the shit out of me because obviously I wasn't expecting. It had nothing to do with him being clowny, but I just wasn't expecting someone to like be coming at me while I'm walking back from peeing.
Don't do that to strangers. Don't do that to strangers.
I'm like a 5'2" little lady, and he was like tall ass clown man. Don't
do it.
Do that. But I just didn't filter myself and I punched him in the stomach. Because that's my reaction when people scare me and I'm not expecting it.
Yeah. Deserved.
I think.
Yeah.
And he fell. I don't think because I punched him that hard, but just because he like wasn't expecting it. And so he kind of like swerved to try and evade the punch. And then he like fell. And then we like got into a full blown argument because he was like really upset that I'd hit him.
Like,
how would you have me react? You just scared the shit out of me.
Like, honest reaction. And like, yeah, you're probably upset that he scared you. So fuck that guy.
This is why I don't go to haunted houses either.
Yeah.
Is because I just hit them. When someone comes at me,
fair reaction.
I'm
Good to know your good to know your limits.
I can't help it. So yeah, don't ask me to go to a haunted house. But that happened. That was the scariest thing that ever happened to me. In the I don't go to the. I think the Baghdad is like the most beautiful theater I've ever seen.
So
probably,
beautiful.
Especially on the inside. It's like just stunning. But they only play like one movie at a time, and a lot of the time it's like a first run. Like it's like a Marvel movie or just some shit that I don't care about. So I don't go there as much as I would, I think, if they played a wider variety of things.
We went, so when I was researching for this episode, we went to the Baghdad. They were playing Weapons, which I really enjoyed. I lingered in the hallways and the bathrooms a little longer than normal, hoping to find something. Or see something or hear something, and I did not.
Okay.
I did not, but I did not go to the downstairs bathroom, which was...
I think it's funny that they said women reported feeling like they're being watched. I'm like, I always feel like I'm being watched, don't you?
Like...
When I'm in public?
Oh, yeah.
I just always assume that someone is being gross.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm hyper aware. To the point where I probably invent it.
I think that it was saying that women feel like they're being watched while they're in like the bathroom stalls, which is really invasive and not cool bathroom ghost.
Oh, like while they're in the stall,
yeah, like while
they
they're
feel like someone's watching them go
stall.
They feel like someone's watching them go potty.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not cool.
That's not cool.
That's really fucked up if that is happening. Pee ghosts, not welcome.
Very invasive.
I mean, if you're into pee, that's awesome, but consent.
Consent is important.
Yeah. Don't be watching strangers piss without either paying them or asking if it's cool. Come on, ghost. Come on.
Would you say that the Hollywood Theater is your favorite theater in town?
That's really hard because there's so many good ones.
There's so many good ones.
In Portland, there are so many good theaters. I love the Hollywood. I love Clinton. I love Laurelhurst. I think probably Laurelhurst is my favorite just because it's so tiny. And when I go there, I just feel like so comfortable. I feel like I'm going out, but I also feel like I'm in my living room.
Yeah, it's really cozy, and
which is nice. There's also awesome people work at Laurelhurst,
and it's cheap.
It is. It is. I respect their price point, and I love the people that work there are sick.
Agreed.
And they have a photo booth, which is really cute.
Oh, cute. I don't think I've noticed that.
Yeah, they have a photo booth, which is really cute. And when you're done at Laurelhurst, you can go across the street to Holman's.
Oh, yeah,
and have a little beer if you like.
That's where I went when I had my cigarettes a couple weeks ago.
You had cigarettes at Holman's? Oh my God, that makes it so much better. Fuck.
All right, we'll go have a cigarette at Holman's soon.
I'm not allowed to break edge. If I have one cigarette, I'm smoking.
Yeah, okay,
like,
you won't.
I'm not, I used to tell myself that I could be a social smoker and just be like, I'll just smoke when I drink. But that it doesn't.
That's fair.
It's not a thing.
It's good to know that about yourself.
I can't do it. Yeah. I'm either I'm smoking
Yeah.
or I'm not.
You're not.
And
It's better not. Smoking is
I
gross.
need to not. It's so nice though. How is the Avalon Theater not haunted?
Oh, it might be. There are so many in the city.
It should be the most haunted one.
Yeah.
From the outside, it looks so haunted.
I don't know. There might be some stories. If you have had a experience at the Avalon Theater, please let us know. If you have had any paranormal experience in the Pacific Northwest, or even if you have just had a paranormal experience, if you want to tell us any story,
just please send us
somebody
an email.
send us an email at mythandmistpodcast@gmail.com.
Genuinely would love to read. And if you want, I will read your story in an accent.
Yeah, whatever you want.
If that will make you want to submit a story more, I will read it. What accents can I do? I can do British, Australian, really bad Russian. I won't do that one. I feel like that's going to offend some people.
I
can do British or Australian or Kiwi, which is similar to Australian.
So
if it would make
you have a lot of good options,
if you
listener.
would be more inclined to write in if someone read your story, your experience with an accent, I'm happy to do that for you.
Please specify what your preference is in the email.
Or no accent. I mean, whatever I'm just saying, whatever's going to sweeten the
pot?
The pot?
The pot? A pot.
Yeah. Is there anything else we want to add? Oh, this week, a story that I submitted, a real life story that I submitted to the wonderful podcast Odd Trails was read on an episode, and they discussed it at the end of the episode. So you should listen to them anyway, because it's a really good podcast. But if you would like to hear my story about the time that I found the goat head in the bag on a walk with my dog, you can listen to episode 201 of Odd Trails. It came out today, Monday, October 6th. They do mention Glue by name.
Glue.
Which is very exciting.
We love Glue.
So if you'd like to listen to that, you should, because their podcast is good. And I'm glad we got to end that on a high note.
Yeah, it was a very heavy episode.
Heavy and then light.
Like a ghost, like a spirit.
Like a ghost. Yeah. And again, if you have had any paranormal experiences or any experiences of any kind that you would like to share, it doesn't have to be paranormal. It could be a crime-based experience. Send us an email.
Yep.
All right. We're going to sign off now.
Good night.
Sweet dreams.
This episode edited by 88.8.